Good afternoon, my fifth grade scholars. I'm here with another math lesson for you today. Today, our focus is expanded form. That has been our focus for the entire week, making sure you understand what is expanded form and how do we find the expanded form of numbers, but not just whole numbers, but now at the fifth grade level, figuring out how do we write the expanded form of decimals, okay? So first, before we begin, let's review and refresh our memories on what the definition of expanded form is. So, expanded form. This is dissecting a number and expressing it as a sum of the values of each digit as a power of 10. All right, so that might sound a little confusing, so let's break that down, okay? So, dissecting would be pull apart. So we're pulling apart or we are breaking apart the number. All right, so pull apart a number, and expressing, meaning you're going to show it as a sum. We know the sum means to add. As a sum of the values, value meaning how much is it worth of each digit, and it's as a power of 10. So if you haven't noticed, when we were talking about place value last week, no matter if you're talking about place value whole numbers, where we're talking about to the left of the decimal, or place values for decimals, which we were talking about was to the right of the decimal, regardless of which you're referring to, all of them are a power of 10. So think about it. Whole numbers, we have ones. That's a power of 10. Tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. All of those numbers are numbers that are powers of 10. Okay? And then going to the decimal side, tenths, hundredths, 10,000s. Or excuse me, I skipped thousands. 10,000s, 100,000s. So all of those are powers of 10 as well. So this is why we start here, because the next section we're going to go into is looking at exponents and powers of 10 way more in depth. And this is going to give us what we need to build upon that. Okay, so for today's lesson, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work through 2 whole number problems with you and 2 decimal problems, and we're going to do exactly what this says, which is we are going to dissect these numbers and express them as a sum of the values of each digit as a power of 10. So that's exactly what we're going to do, and then I'm going to give you 3 whole number and 3 decimal problems for you to complete on your own to then send in to me. All right, let's get going. So let's start off with 46,721. All right. So when you break a number down to expanded form, you start with the biggest value. Okay. So here I have a 4, and so we're going to write this out in expanded form. This is 4. And in order to get its full value, I'd have to multiply 4 by whatever the place value is. Well, here, I know that it's in the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s place. So I'm going to do 4 times 10,000. That represents my 40,000. Now, we said it's the sum, so we have to add. All right, our next value is a 6, and that 6 is in the thousands place. So to get that, I would do 6 times 1,000. Now I'm going to move further down, and I'm going to go to my 7. You know what? I don't like that this is being broken apart, so let's do something different. I'm writing it right back, so don't stress. This was 4. Times 10,000 plus, we said 6 times 1,000 plus, now we're at our 7, And that is in our hundreds place, so we would multiply that by the 100, which is a power of 10. We need to add that to our next digit, which is the 2. And our 2 is in the tens place. And lastly, we have a 1, and our 1 is in the ones place. All right, so if you look at it, here's our first number and its place value. Actually, let me do that in a different color. First number, place value. Then we have our 6. Second number, second place value. I'm just trying to go over this so you can see it. There we are. Third number, place value. Fourth number, place value. Fifth number, place value. So in order to express 46,721 in expanded form, I would have to write 4 times 10,000 plus 6 times 1,000 plus 7 times 100 plus 2 times 10 plus 1 times 1. And that is my answer, and that is how I write from beginning to end 46,721 in expanded form. All right, so now let's take a look at another one. All right, so this is 1,509,000. All right, so let's work this one out and let's look at it in expanded form. So my first digit is a 1. So, and my 1, excuse me, not sure, is in the millions place. So 1 times 1 million. All right, here's my number. Here's its place value. Now, my 100,000s, 10,000s, and thousands place all have zeros. So do I need to put them in there? No, I don't. You could, all right? So if you said yes, you could say 0 times 100,000, 0 times 10,000, 0 times 1,000. But we all know that no matter what the number is, no matter how big or how small, any number multiplied times 0 is 0. So, you know, like I like to say, work smarter, not harder. So we don't need to write out those. We know that there's nothing in that. Those are just placeholders. We don't have any thousands. We don't have any 10,000s, and we don't have any 100,000s. My next value is a 5. And that is in the hundreds place. I then have a 0 in the tens place. I do not need to write it. My next digit is a 9. And that is in the ones place. So this is how you would correctly write from beginning to end 100,509. It would be 1 times 1 million, excuse me, 1,509,000, excuse me. So 1 times 1 million plus 5 times 100 plus 9 times 1. If you were seeing something like this, which next week we're going to flip it, and I'm going to give you the expanded, actually probably not next week, Friday, you will get problems where I'm going to give you the expanded form and you're going to tell me the whole number. So if you saw this, you would write the number just like this. I have 1 million. I don't have anything else until I get to my hundreds place. And then I don't have anything else until the ones place. And then in those areas or those place values where I don't have a value, then I put 0, my favorite placeholder in the math world, in that place. Okay? So now let's take a look at the decimal side. All right, let's give ourselves a little bit more space, just like we did for the other side. So the first decimal number that we're going to look at is 0.591. All right. So just like we did over here, we're going to break this down into its place values. If you need to, please refer back to your place value chart that you created from the earlier lesson where we actually went through place value from millions all the way down to 10,000ths. Okay, THS. All right, so I don't need to worry about the zero. This is just for my mind's sake. When I write decimals, I like to put a zero. All right, but your focus is everything that is to the right of that decimal point, okay? So here's your decimal point, and your focus is everything to the right, okay? So the first place value I have is a 5. Now, where is my 5? It's going to look a little different over here. My 5 is in the 10ths place. So there are two different ways you can show decimals. You can show it as a decimal, or you can show its equivalent as a fraction. So for the first decimal problem we're going to work through, I'm going to do expanded form using decimals, okay? So I would do 5, and it's in the 10ths place, so 0.1. Oops. 5 times 0.1. I have a 1 here in the 10ths place. This is showing me my 10ths place value. This is my number. I'm going to add that to my 9, and I need to multiply that by, well, this is tenths, so that's hundredths. So I need to multiply it by 1/100th. Here's my 9. Here's the place value of 1/100th. And then lastly, I have a 1, and that is in the tenths, hundredths, thousandths place. So I'm going to multiply that by 0.001, which is tenths, hundredths, thousandths, okay? 1,000th number, and that's the value. So this is how I would write, using decimals, this is how I would write 0.591 in expanded form, okay? 5 times 1/10 plus 9 times 1/100th plus 1 times 1,000th. All right, so that is how you would write that if it was expanded form for 0.591. All right, so now let's take a look at an additional problem, but this time we are going to use fractions to represent the place values. So our second problem we're going to look at is 0.0847. All right, 0.0847. That's what we're working on next. So remember, I'm focused on what's to the right of my decimal. So here I have 0.0847. So here I have a placeholder. I don't have any tenths here. So like I said, if you feel more comfortable and you want to write 0 times 1/10, you can do that. But I like to work smarter, not harder. So I am not going to put that because I know there's no tenths. And I know that if I have hundreds and if I have thousands and 10,000s, then I know that in order to write this number, I'd have to put a placeholder there at the first place value to the right of the decimal. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start with my 8. So 8, and my 8 is in the tenths, hundredths. So instead of writing it like that, I'm going to write 8 times 1/100th. All right, those two are equivalent. This is how you say 100th in fraction world. This is how you say 100th in decimal world. But they mean the same thing. They give you the same value, okay? So it's really about what works best for your mathematical mind, all right? Then I'm going to go to my 4. And I need to multiply that by, so tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So 1,000th. And then lastly, I have this 7. And that is in tenths, hundredths, thousandths, the 10,000ths place. So this is how you would write from beginning to end the number 0.0847 as, well, which is a decimal. This is how you would write it from beginning to end in expanded form. 8 times 100th plus 4 times 1,000th plus 7 times 1/10,000th. All right? So now it's time for you to do some on your own. So the problems you're going to complete for whole numbers, I want you to write in expanded form 8,413. You need to write in expanded form 2,079,624. And your last problem, you need to do 708,106. All right, so 3, 4, and 5, that's what you need to complete. Tell me, how do you write, or show me, how do you write those three numbers, those three whole numbers in expanded form? 8,413, 2,079,624, and 708,106. Show me how to write those three numbers in expanded form. As far as your decimals are concerned, let's get another color in here. I'm trying to break it up so you can, there we go. All right, the three problems you're going to complete for decimals are 0.963, 0.42, and 0.0698. All right, so you're also going to show me these three decimals. So let's recap what you need to do for me. All right, once you have watched this entire video and taken your notes, and you have your 4 examples, 2 whole number examples in expanded form, 2 decimal numbers in expanded form as examples, you are going to now work on the 6 problems assigned to you. You have 3 problems that are whole number, and you need to show these to me in expanded form, 3, 4, and 5. And then you have 3 problems that are decimals that you need to show me in expanded form, 3, 4, and 5. Totaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 problems that you yourself are working on, showing me how do you write those whole numbers and decimals in expanded form. And when you are done, you can text or email this to me. All right. And this is due by Friday, the 24th. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to reach out. I hope you guys are staying safe. Please know that I love you and I miss you. And I hope all of you take care, and I'll see you soon.